Hello everyone, welcome back on the PhilsDrive with your next video cast and podcast. You can have it both ways. Ladies and gentlemen, here on the PhilsDrive today we have a very special friend by the name of Iekraam Amams, a co-creator and an executive producer. Iekraam is a multi-skilled filmmaker with over 15 years experience in the industry. Iekraam, welcome man.
Thanks so much Phil for having me on your show.
Okay, everybody must be happy to see a new and different face, you know, and I can see all the shaving is going on and it's really looking good. So you know what, while I was thinking about your work and seeing your work on social media, even live in action, I actually came across one quote that I wanted to read out to you today that says, "You will lose interest in anything if you lack a passion to do it in life." And that's what I get from your work, you know, Iekraam, and it's very great how you touch lives through making films and so forth, which is something very weird about how you actually connect with the audience and so forth. But I would love to know that what made you to do this?
Okay, well that's a very interesting story. So about 15 years or so ago, I was studying a B.Ed Business Management and Music degree. And while I was studying, I was also doing an internship at a production company. And it was a 3-year internship, which was amazing. And I mean, the great thing about it was that my line managers at the time started me off as essentially a runner, a little gopher, and I had to essentially, you know, if it was a coffee run, it's what I did, and I learned
Seriously?
literally from the bottom up. Because you know when you walk into a company and you think, oh, I'm going to start doing something really interesting, exciting, but the basic jobs were very remedial. Like
It wasn't actually the case of starting up there.
not at all. I think it was some coffees and some very basic things. But 3 years later, they took me through the process of production. You know, from scripting through to filming to editing, post-production, and so I got exposed to the world of production and film.
Wow.
And so once I finished my degree, I also subsequently concluded my internship with the production company, and
all those coffee makers were at least the last run.
and then I wrapped up my degree and the internship, and I had to decide what was I going to do with my life. And at the time when we were my final year of interning, as it were, we were working on a campaign for a company called World Hope, or vague. We're going into early 2000s. Anyway, and we were doing a documentary and filming a couple of commercials in Zambia about the early forced child marriage plight.
So you had like an opportunity to even go abroad.
Oh, that was the beauty of working with the company, is that they exposed me to every facet of production. So you know, you would go on a shoot, and sometimes your shoots are not local, sometimes you travel, which is great. So we went to Zambia and we went into the compounds to film this particular campaign, and this is kind of the pinnacle of what got me to where I am. It's the fact that we went into the compound and we filmed this commercial, which basically it was a 6-year-old being married off to a 35, 40-year-old man, and we shot the final scene, which was essentially just her being taken into the hut because he's married her now, and they had to basically now consummate the marriage. And so he pulls her into the house, and just before he pulls her into the hut, he goes in, and she's sort of passing through the curtain, as it were, because that's the door, and she looks over her shoulder directly into camera. And that image of the fear in her eyes has stuck with me ever since. And when I saw that, that's when I knew what I want to do with my life is do stuff like this. Make docus, commercials, products and projects that will impact society on a greater level, more so than doing bookkeeping, which is great. I mean, if that's your passion and you feel you can make a difference doing that, then that's cool, that's awesome, and I salute that, I commend it, but it wasn't what got my passion, my fire, you know, going. And then that was for me the turning point that made me go, this is what I want to do with my life.
Quite interesting, man. Like, some parts of it, like, it's kind of like a shock, because when you think about people starting off in their businesses, you think that, okay, internships are very great, and then you actually got an experience to be exposed to the world out there, which is also amazing, because I think through travel and education, people can really go far, And what is it that you're doing, like, right now at the moment?
Sure, right now at the moment, that's
because like it's like you've been around for so long, like
well. I mean, we're going way back. So let me give you a little bit of background. So I actually then, once I completed my internship with the company, I decided to. I became full-time. I became an employee of the company for about 3-4 years.
Okay.
Because the work was amazing. It was the kind of stuff I wanted to do. And the nice thing about having stayed on was the fact that I grew in the business.
Okay.
So you don't just want to jump.
Yeah.
You want to kind of stay on and further invest. And now that I'm independent, I've gone through the system. I've gone through the process. I've been taught now I can really collaborate and partner with everyone that works for the company.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a couple of years. I then relocated to Ireland for 2 years or so to help a guy who's known as Ireland's Bear Grylls basically set up his production company.
Okay.
And while I was over there was a lot I started working on just in terms of expanding my role, my directorial role, as it were, which was great because we did a number of docus out there, travel and adventure and exploration, which was really, really cool. And then, I came back to South Africa, started working for a couple of big agencies, which I think I definitely recommend if you're trying to figure out how you want to navigate this industry. Jump around, move, try different facets of the industry, work for above the line, below the line, small companies, small production companies, mega agencies, really get your hands dirty and submerge yourself in every facet of it so you understand where your niche is, you know what I mean, where your sweet spot is.
Okay.
So I worked with a couple of big agencies for a number of years. And while doing that, for instance, I headed up a talk show for MTN, in fact. Called MTN Talk Time, which was lots and lots of fun.
And I think that was like way back in the time, because I don't even know about it.
It was, and you see, as the thing, it was an internal comms, so it wasn't broadcast on
TV,
on television.
Okay.
It was disseminated across the 21, they probably got like 24 because now I don't know, but we distributed across the MTN network globally, and that show as well just helped me hone my skills as a writer and director. And I mean, it's so much fun just also being on set with the same people, because you develop these deep relationships with people after.
How long does it take for one to be like with all these same people on a set?
Well, that show ran for 4 years. I think it was 4.5, 5 years.
That's like a full-time contract, like working for a company.
It was literally. I mean, that was my baby. That's what you eat, sleep, you breathe, you repeat. That's exactly what it was. And the nice thing, like I was saying, is you build beautiful, deep relationships with people, because I mean, you're spending so much time with them. And that's what I mean about just jump around, explore, see what tickles your fancy, what piques your interest. Anyway, so after that, some years later, I decided, well, I've figured out sort of what I want to do with myself. And actually,
at a later stage.
Yeah, much later, I established my own production company.
Oh, that's great, Iekraam. Like, congrats. Like, wow, you actually made something out of all this. You really made something great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. And so now you're talking about what current projects are on the go. I don't think you can ever say this is on. There's always stuff happening. That's just business. The nature of business is there's always a project that that's in the shop, or you're pitching for something, or you're tendering for something. It's just the nature of the beast.
Do you still need to tender for something because you said you have your own production company?
Well, that's how it goes. So companies will then. You will receive an RFQ, which is a request for quotation, and so you pitch against other companies, other businesses for particular projects. And that's just how it is.
And it's something that you guys do each and every single time for you to get to
For every project, you pitch, you tender. Sometimes because you have recurring clients, you've got great relationships with them, and depending on the types of projects, there is, you know, a case of clients will say to you, well, we've got this, and can you just get this project done for us? You know what I mean? It's not always the case where you have to pitch all the time. Once you've established a good rapport with a particular client, you know, they trust you, they trust your work, they've seen, as you said earlier, on the fruits of your labor, and so they will obviously just contact you directly as well, which is great. So there's multiple ways of garnering work, you know what I mean? So there's social media as well, you know, your different platforms where you get your work out. But I will say I've been fortunate and blessed enough that much of my work has actually spoken for itself through word of mouth.
Not through social media?
Very little, in fact, which is ironic because social media at this point has just become your portfolio, and it's so pretty to look at, but more often than not, business has happened, for instance, at gym.
Okay.
So while I'm working out, and then you know, some of my friends will start talking about what we do, and all of a sudden there's a need, and you say, well, this is what we do. Oh, well, how about? So everything just sort of for me has been happening in one-on-one conversation where you get to meet the people and you can talk.
You have your equipment right there.
I have, of course. It's me. It's my mouth. It's you know, your eyepiece up here. That's what you use because it's all relational. Everything in life is relational. So it's not about what I do. It's I hear your need. Maybe I can facilitate a solution.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
You can't always solve the problem in that. And then, like, Iekraam, tell me more about this, your own production company that you spoke about earlier on.
So yeah, just to follow on. So the company is called AI Pictures, and we've just entered, we've reached our 4-year milestone. So you know what to say, 5 years. By then, you know you've made it. You're not gonna go belly up. But the liquor thing about it is, you know, your first year is totally overwhelming, totally daunting. Yes, sis, you need all
It feels like you can feel that feeling right now, like the way you said yes, sis.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that long ago. 4 years ago was not that long ago. So I will say what was amazing is the fact that as you progress through the different phases of business, you really, it's a lot of trial by fire as much as because I mean, I have got the background in business because I did the B.Ed business management, when you think about that. So I've got the background in economics and accounts and all of that, which are great.
It's something that like you really need when in this industry, that you need finance, business and so forth.
Totally, you need to have a good grasp of those very, very specific elements when you are obviously running a business.
Any kind of
exactly, any.
You can't escape from this kind of thing.
Of course not. And if you're not equipped, then surround yourself with people who are. So I mean, everyone has to have a mentor, and it doesn't have to be someone you spend every day with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be someone you even see face to face. So I do a lot of online research and online courses, etc. Because that's the space we're in now. You don't need to go in unless there's a specific seminar I want to attend. Then of course I will go and attend the conference venue, whatever that's happening. But I recently learned something new, which I thought it's nice to actually flip the concept of mentorship on its head. And this person said, you don't have to face with your mentor. Your mentor could be someone in your field of work that you look up to. So within your line of work, it could be, or let me say within my line of work. So David Fincher, he's a fantastic director. I don't necessarily see him as my mentor per se, but what I can garner from him are his years worth of experience. So documentaries about him, interviews with him, synopsis on him. You go through that material and you absorb what is it that makes that person world renowned. And in just absorbing that content, going, okay, I'm going to be diligent, you know, in sucking it up. So too, that is a form of you getting learnership, mentorship from people that you're not even face to facing.
Just looking at them
But it's not looking. It's being having that intent, that consciousness of going. So they renowned for their camera work. Exactly what is it about their camera work that makes them world renowned? You know what I mean? And then you start going, okay, let's start doing some research about what techniques. Why is it that he'll take 50, 60, 70 takes just to do something because he's so meticulous about, do you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm loving. But I mean, I do have people that I surround myself with that I consult, throw ideas off of, which is very important. I do think you need to have partnerships and mentors and people that know more than you. It's always good.
Yeah, we always learn from everybody, each and every single day.
Exactly. And I think I've just forgotten what you were even asking me.
So, like, what are...
the question was, so tell me about your company. So the company is an end-to-end production company, and what that basically means is our clients have concepts and ideas, and so what we do is we take that concept from the sky or in their imaginations, in their dreams, we materialize that, we actualize it, we look at it, we refine it, we assess, you say you want it to be a blue unicorn with rainbows and stuff, and we go, well, do you really want it to be a blue unicorn with rainbows? Maybe you want a Care Bear, or maybe you want a flying dragon instead of a unicorn kind of vibes, you know what I'm saying? And so we take your concept, we help you refine it, and then we actualize it in whichever form it needs to take, so be it a docu, a commercial, a print, a billboard, a PowerPoint presentation. It just depends on how we then develop the product for the client. And then obviously from there it will be through into dissemination. So it's not just taking a picture, but going, alrighty, so we're going to take a photograph. What is the end goal with this photograph? Is it going to wind up being a print? Is it going to wind up being just a single image that we want to use for social media? Or do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of analyzing in this one.
Of course, there's a lot of creative that have to go in and planning that goes in. I mean, but that's with any business. Anything you do has a ton of planning and storyboarding. You know what I mean? So that's really, in a nutshell, what we do, and it's fun. I do enjoy it.
And then Iekraam, what is the job opportunities that are there in this kind of industry? Because yesterday you look on Twitter and you're like, okay, what is trending? Unemployment, and it might trend again. And what are job opportunities so that the young people out there might know, and even those that are even older, they're still trying their luck and so forth. What are the job opportunities?
The current employment situation within SA is very challenging, and unemployment is exceptionally high, but I do think the onus falls on the individual. So go and research a number of agencies or places that you find interesting. Start firing off emails. If you've studied, obviously, then that's great. Send your CV out. Go door to door. Start knocking. Go to the company. Start finding a way in. The business model I adopt for my business is that, of course, specialized skills. For instance, I'm not going to employ or contract someone who obviously has not got proper education in how to be a DP, for instance.
Okay.
So, but we are totally open to bringing people on board who have the determination, like I've said to you, and are willing to start off as a runner.
Yeah.
So if I meet people and it's a case of, is there work for me? I'll run an interview. I'll get you on set for half an hour and say, okay, well, come on board, this is what we're doing, you know what I mean? So that is one of the ways I try and also just work with empowering people. And there have been 3 people that have come through the system. I've even got a little young mentee who's super cool. He's so dope. And what's great about him is he's so passionate because this is what he wants to do. So he interned, in fact, with me for a year.
Okay.
And this year, in fact, he went and started studying at a film school. And what's great is the fact that because he came through the system and was eager to learn and just to do, and whatever was needed, he was there. You know what I mean? And so now he's going through the system formally, which is great.
Wow.
And he'll still drop me a line like, okay, so we're doing this, or we've been given this writing assignment, I've got to watch this movie, and it's so boring, blah, blah, blah. And I'll say to him, you know what, as much as it's boring, try focus on the purpose or the why your lecturer is making you watch this. And remember, your lecturer doesn't know everything, so if you have an opinion that is counter to him, if you can justify it, you know, and from your perspective, you've made valid arguments, then, you know, put that forward. Don't just say what they want you to say. You know what I mean?
It goes an extra mile always, like for me in this business and understanding this. It's really great, and with such people, as you said, he's young. I wish a lot of young people would meet that kind of mentor as well in life. But you know what? It's been like a very long day that we've been going on, and I really, really love for people to know more about you, Iekraam, and know more about the business. Where can people find you? Where can people actually contact you for, okay, Iekraam, I have this picture, amazing picture of this beautiful coffee. Can you please make the story out of this? Because that's what you guys do. You're like the magic makers of something that we see.
I like that. I'm going to use that, the magic makers. It's a cool line.
So where can people actually find you and contact you?
So you can get hold of us on the website, aipictures.org, or you can go to the gram, AI_pictures_. You can find me on Facebook, Iekraam Amams.
But please remember to follow the voice on the FhilsDrive on Twitter and then on YouTube at Philiso Sebole, Philiso, and then Sebole, Sebole. Twitter, it's FhilsDrive, YouTube, Philiso Sebole, Facebook, Philiso Sebole. And please, don't forget this guy. Paint your beautiful picture with Iekraam. Follow him, and guys, have a good time. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Iekraam, for coming in.
Only a pleasure.
It's a great pleasure.
Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, man.